Good evening. So, wow, I'm just tired. End of the week, tired. So much news, so many headlines throughout the week. I'm just wore down. Um, so I wanted to talk a little bit about social media platforms. And I've talked about this before, and it's this whole concept that we should run from these major platforms because they're horrible and they're evil, and you've got some prepper channels that, oh, don't do Facebook, it's the most evil thing on earth, or whatever their 9 million excuses are because they don't like it. I get it. There's nothing good that comes from Facebook. There's nothing good that comes from Google. There's nothing good that comes from much of the tech giants. That's a fact. That's a fact. Let me tell you why I'm over on Facebook. To spread information and to receive information. And once in a great while to talk to somebody that I hadn't seen in a while or whatever. I don't do that very often. Most of what I do on Facebook is post headlines over on the Watchman News on Facebook. That's the majority of the activity I have on Facebook. Other than that, help people. I try to help people in drone groups and flight simulator groups and just prepping groups, any groups that I'm a member of that I know a thing or two about it. That's it. I don't really use it to socialize. I use it more as a tool. There's a lot of hate on YouTube because of their policies, and I understand and I agree with much of it. But I'm not going to run out and get exclusive on every other platform or another platform simply because of, my disagreement with their policies. Why? Because it's unproductive. It's completely unproductive. The chances of new people finding you on other platforms is little to none. Plain and simple. And if the whole intent is to spread information, then you need to be put in front of a possible large audience. And I know all about the algorithms and how they, believe me, I get it. I brought this up just because I don't want anybody to get anything twisted, because we had just recently become monetized, and I don't want anybody to get anything twisted because, well, he's monetized, so that's why he's pro YouTube. And I didn't say I'm pro YouTube. But let me show you this, just so we don't get anything twisted here, okay? And I knew this because we were monetized before, so this isn't nothing new. But if you can't tell, they don't let us monetize a whole lot, all right? We don't get to monetize a whole lot. So even our show right now, live, me speaking to you, they already know they don't like it. They already know. They know ahead of time they don't like it. So I just wanted to show that, I'm not defending YouTube here. But I see this constantly, and in fact, there's a bunch of channels now talking about Ice Age Farmer. I don't know what all the deal is with that. I thought at one time they were playing with his monetization and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know if that's truly his reason for abandoning YouTube. That is the root of it for a lot of people, to be quite honest. I think it's non-productive in that way too. I really do. And the reason why is, for one, you need, like I said before, you need to be in front of a large audience so that you can have a funnel to funnel people over into your other endeavors. Okay? That's number one. But number two, a lot of these other platforms, they don't work out. Plain and simple. I wish I had a Bitcoin for everyone I've seen come up and fail. I've seen a lot of them. And in the end, it wouldn't matter how great of a platform one was, because all it takes is the right organization to say no more, and your website is gone. And that organization is known as ICANN. And they are the ones that control the propagation of web addresses, essentially. What that basically means is, like, if you go to our website, all right, that's the watchmannews.com. If you go to our website, there's a computer out there that translates the watchmannews.com to an IP and to a particular computer. They use name servers and to route it to the right address, right? And so that makes it simple for you just to be able to put in something you can easily remember, and again translates it into an IP address and yada yada in order to route it to the right computer, the right, spot on the computer. So all they have to do is shut off a web address. Plain and simple. That's all they got to do. So in the end, it doesn't matter if one of us created or found the ultimate social media site, because if it ever got too much of a problem for the powers that be, they would shut it off. So see, we don't have control of this to begin with. Let's not act like we do. We don't have control of the internet, not even remotely. Not even remotely. They wouldn't let us play on it if we did. Sure, there are individuals that can do a whole lot on this World Wide Web, but take over control of the entire thing, that I don't see happening. Maybe portions of it, but I mean the whole thing, that ain't happening. I'm just thinking processing power and how the hell. Anyway, don't run from these social media platforms, and don't listen to other people. Watch, and I say this all the time, and I hope people heed my warning. Don't say anything online that you wouldn't say to anyone. And I mean that. Don't say anything online that you wouldn't tell a federal agent. Don't say anything online that you wouldn't tell your wife or your husband. Don't say anything online that you wouldn't tell your Sunday school teacher. Okay? Because I'm telling you, everything we do is tracked, traced, and databased. And I've got a news story for you to corroborate this, and on one level anyway. Let me bring this up. So check this out. AI-driven community surveillance, right? U.S. cops reportedly using invasive tool to grab suspects' social media, Pornhub, and Tinder data. A number of U.S. law enforcement agencies are reportedly using a shadowy AI surveillance program that trawls social media accounts, dating apps, online shopping wish lists, and even Pornhub pages to help identify persons of interest. The tool, known as SocialNet, maps out the networks of these individuals by harvesting data from over 120 platforms, including Facebook and Instagram posts, Reddit, Tinder, YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify, PayPal, Amazon, Amazon accounts, and even the dark web, according to The Intercept. Remember, I've told you folks that there is no place, not even the dark web, that you can go. I know a thing or two. The investigative news outlet has obtained documents showing how Michigan State Police are leasing the software developed by Wyoming-based cyber intelligence from Shadow Dragon. In addition, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has reportedly twice purchased a license for the program since 2019, while several Massachusetts police departments have also acquired it. Neither Shadow Dragon nor the Michigan government website provide details about which precincts are using SocialNet. The state purchased the software through another online policing company called Caseware for a contract for an MSE Enterprise Criminal Intelligence System. How do you like this? According to an unredacted copy of this contract, which is apparently not publicly available due to its sensitive nature, the software was leased in January 2020 at the cost of nearly $3.3 million and runs until January 2025 with a renewal option for up to 5 additional years. Meanwhile, Massachusetts State Police paid $147,870 to use SocialNet for the 3-year period from March 2021 to March 2024, according to an invoice obtained by NBC. Earlier this year, the network's Boston affiliate had reported that funding had come from federal government's Project Safe Neighborhoods program to combat violent crime. According to information available on the state's official website, the federal program targets 6 communities in the state: Boston, Lawrence, Brockton, Worcester, New Bedford, and Springfield. Citing emails obtained through a Freedom of Information request, NBC reported that many police teams had sought social media analytics software to tackle gang activity across the state. Michigan police also reportedly purchased another Shadow Dragon program called OI Monitor that sends out alerts in response to data gathered by SocialNet. On its product page, the company claims this tool can conduct chat protocol monitoring of apps like WhatsApp and Telegram. Are you listening? As with SocialNet, which apparently uses public and local IP addresses as a source of data, The Intercept noted that it was unclear exactly what information OI Monitor pulls from its sources and how. Shadow Dragon founder Daniel Clemens told the outlet that the firm does not intercept any private chats and employs crawlers that scrape information from public websites, but does not access anything that is proprietary or private. While Clemens said his company disagrees with predictive policing, and does not build products with predictive capabilities or even suggestions, Shadow Dragon website highlights OI Monitor's predicting violence capability by noting that clever security teams use the tool to find indicators of unrest and violence because riots don't start in a vacuum. There are always indicators. Interesting. Let me continue on. Clemens declined to comment whether information pulled from Shadow Dragon tools could be pooled with other data and used by law enforcement authorities for predictive policing. Sorry, I keep screwing that up. A Michigan State Police spokesperson told the outlet that it does not use the predictive policing function and said that investigative tools available to us as a part of this contract are only used in conjunction with criminal investigations following all state and federal laws. Likening predictive policing to AI-driven racial profiling and community surveillance, the American Civil Liberties Union Michigan office noted that Shadow Dragon tools violated the basic right to privacy. In a series of tweets, the ACLU called for the usage of such tools to end. So there you go. There you have it. I find stuff like that concerning. Because what you may look at and say, oh, well, that doesn't apply to me, may only not apply to you today. What about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? What about when they're mandating that you have a procedure done just to go grocery shopping? And so you can't buy food for your family unless you have a medical procedure, right? And let's say that you don't think that that's right and you would like to speak out against it. Now you see why this stuff is never a good idea. Because it's always good when it's used on the opposition. Problem is when it gets turned around and used on you. That's always the problem. That's always... I wonder if that's why the good book said, treat others like you'd like to be treated. I'm paraphrasing. I wonder if that had something to do with it. Again, there's no reason to run from these platforms, right? And if your reasoning is like if you're a content creator and it's a monetary reason or whatever, you know, just don't say you're doing this to help people. If the money is what's important. You know, that's why I wanted to make sure nobody got it twisted. We don't, and that was, by the way, lives that you saw on that. Our uploads are a lot better, actually, but we still do get a fair amount of uploads that are demonetized. But here's the thing. Nobody hardly watches these videos. We don't get a ton of views. We just don't get tons of views. So, it is what it is. But this is probably the wrong place, meaning YouTube. This is probably the wrong place to be if you want to talk about truth and make money. Or gain a lot of subscribers or whatever. Because it is a very, very polarized society. And most of society wants you to be on one team or the other. And when you're not on a team, and when you point out problems with both teams, you're not going to be popular. And it is the way it is. But I would rather be unpopular and small than dishonest and disheartening to the Father. So I can please man and benefit personally. I'm pretty sure that's not how that I'm supposed to be serving him. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to focus on serving him, and then he'll make sure that I'm taken care of. And he has proven that quite well. So that's why I stay focused on him. And a lot of people don't get it, you know. Especially individuals that want to claim to love him and at the same time want to live a bountiful life, but they never want to discuss with me I'm still trying to find out which one of the disciples had the riches. I'm still trying to figure that out because to my knowledge, That whole trek started out with them kind of giving everything up and following them. Interesting. The vow of poverty is a lost thing. And although there are some that still use it, the Catholics still use it, but they've got loopholes. So the priest isn't the one that owns all the really, really nice stuff, but the church owns all the really, really nice stuff. So the priests don't do without. It's just that the priests themselves don't own it. The church owns it. And so, yeah, it's kind of humorous. To me, it's humorous because to me it's a loophole. It's trying to find a loophole. I'm telling you, I've seen some really nice. I did pest control. That's how I know. I've seen, and I had several church and rectory accounts, and yeah. But yeah, the priests they have little of nothing really. They don't have much of anything. I mean, one I can recall. One of the churches I did, I can remember. I don't know if it was him that I was talking to. I guess so. Was telling me that he had his clothes and a set of golf clubs, and his vehicle. That's it. His vehicle, a set of clothes, or his clothes and a set of golf clubs. That literally was, and of course his whatever shaving equipment and all that. But I mean, had nothing. Really had nothing. His golf clubs really was his only thing that he had. So, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was him that told me that. I don't think it was the secretary. We're talking a long time ago, folks. We're talking pre-9/11. Yeah. just barely pre-9/11, though. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. I take that back. Not pre-9/11. Shortly after 9/11. My apologies. Just shortly after. Anyway, as I was saying, don't run from social media. If you're not a content creator, if you're just just learn what you can, be discerning. Don't listen to people telling you that you need to run away from this social media platform or that one, or that you need to run to this one or that one. Do what you feel is best. If you want to check out these other platforms, go check them out. Don't let nobody hold you back. But at the same time, I wouldn't expect there to be a savior platform come out and save the day, because anytime, like I say, that any platform gets that big, that powerful, that they don't have control of, they'll shut it off. It's just simple as that. They'll just shut it off. And there's no control we have over that. And believe me, I know a little bit about the darker areas of the web and activities on the web. I know there are plenty of ways around, but here's the thing. Everybody that is a participant of your platform, whatever it is you're putting out there, has to be able to get to it. And if they can't do it just by simple web propagation, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I guarantee you that their systems are faster than what we can derive. I guarantee it. And they have control of that. That's why I kind of laugh. There are websites that have been let go for a long time that should have been shut down a long time ago. In fact, many other sites, and I'm not going to say what it is that I've got on my mind, but Many other sites just like it have been shut down, complete with the FBI warning, the whole 9 yards. But this site's managed to stay there, right? And there's been attack on this site trying to bring it down, and it's kind of humorous. It's a torrenting site. I'll tell you that. It's a torrenting site, and it's still there. It's still waving its flag. So anyway, I find it humorous. However, whenever they're done playing with them, they'll squash them like a bug. Because guess what? This entire time, you could still put in the same web address and go to the same site, although they've had they have had downtime here and there. But most of the time they're up and active. I don't think the site's what it used to be, but it is kind of humorous though, because they've been at war for many years. Anyway, guess I can get some headlines done and get the heck out of here for the week. Let's see. See number 2 up there. Let me go ahead and real quick pop those out. I know we've got like 2 or 3 headlines from last night yet that I put out before I went to bed. Okay. The other one was stupidity. Alright. Let's do some headlines. Let me have a sip of coffee. Actually, let me have a few sips of coffee. I'm not like in a hurry or nothing. But I also don't believe in just sitting here drinking coffee and vaping while you guys watch. You pay good money to be here. You want to see work. Oh. Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, we could do it like a 3-hour show like this. I could just kick back in my chair, recline it, sit there and vape and drink coffee while I stare at the screens. Not sure what that would accomplish, but alright. Starting from last night, I don't know if I shared this one out or not. Just in case, I'll do it again. FDA greenlights Pfizer booster shots for elderly and those aged 18 plus at high risk from COVID-19, leaving room for interpretation. Actually, now I do recall I did read that. I think that was the last one I read last night. And then this one came out right as I clicked off the air. Tourist arrested for using fake Moderna vaccine pass wanted in Hawaii after skipping virtual court hearing. So I don't know if you remember when this happened, but apparently she skipped out on a court hearing and wanted in Hawaii. This is absolutely mind-blowing to me. 11-year-old pistol whipped a man while his mom carjacked him, St. Louis police say. So that is what our society is up to today. 11-year-olds pistol whipping people while their mama carjacks them. This is insane. This is insane. How do we fix this? I don't know. I have no idea. How do we fix this? Let's see. Actor Johnny Depp calls for revolt against cancel culture and warns that it takes one sentence to destroy someone. Well, hell, how many lifetimes have I screwed up for? Let's see. Melbourne reeling from the protest against COVID-19 restrictions sets new world record for longest lockdown. I didn't know they were trying for a Guinness record. J.P. Morgan, by the way, we are doing today's headlines now, sorry. J.P. Morgan facing oil bribery probe in Brazil, says media. Poland claims Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline does not meet European certification requirements. Hundreds of thousands of heavy goods vehicle drivers aren't working, says minister, as UK government vows to tackle haulage crisis. So we're not the only ones having issues. Russia is not going to join NATO, FM Lavrov quips before private meeting with head of U.S.-led bloc Stoltenberg at UN in New York. Ah, my neck. I'm looking to see if that was Fauci in the front. Let's see. First region in Poland abandons anti-LGBT resolution over threats of losing EU funds. COVID-19 pandemic will be over in a year, Moderna chief executive says. Now I don't know if I can say that name. Litvinenko, something like that, and Skripal allegations against Moscow, time to distract from West's defeat in Afghanistan, Russia's top spy claims. If we know about him, is he really a spy? Just how bad could things get this winter? European energy crisis is about to go global. Australia denies it recommitted to French submarine program just hours before AUKUS pack announcement. Telling you, a lot of ruckus with the AUKUS. Don't hand out cash to pensioners like communists, Russian bank chief says, insisting under capitalism, elderly should pay their own way. Yeah, that's coming from a Russian bank chief. That is, that's insane. That's insane. But I'm afraid that's where the world is going. I don't think Russia's alone in this. The United States just isn't as honest about what they do. They just do it while telling you they're not doing it. And by the time you realize, well, I don't know, have you really seen anybody do anything during all of this? No, because I guess that's the new American way. I can't help it. I can't help it. I've been trying to get people to stand together for a long time. A long time. Nobody wants to. I don't know. Court case filed against French customs after officials refused to disclose records of arms exports. And that's, it's a double-edged sword when I say that. Again, you got some prepper channels out there preaching Gandhi, and that ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. Apparently, they haven't watched any protests, because protest in the United States goes like this. You have the protesters, and then you have a bunch of police. And at a certain point, after the riot cops show up, they get tired of being there. And if you pay close attention, many times there's some antagonizing going on from the blue line. And then that thing gets things agitated. And then that starts the back and forth. I'm telling you, we're in for a hard way in this country, because what a lot of people don't realize is the way they view life today I really honestly feel will be completely unrecognizable a year from now. The options, the choices, the much of anything that we have now, I don't think it's going to be here. I don't think it's going to be here. And it doesn't matter how much Gandhi you want to spill out onto the world. When everybody else isn't on track with you to play Gandhi, it ain't gonna matter how damn peaceful you are. Not a bit. And when people are starving, when people are hungry, they're all but peaceful. I don't know what it is with this fantasy apocalypse mindset, but it's not healthy, and it's not helping. It's concerning, to be honest. Concerning. Let's see. Music of rapper Morgenstern encourages teenagers to commit violent acts, claims a Russian official. Taiwan mounts urgent response after 19 Chinese PLA jets, including 2 nuclear-capable bombers, enter its air defense zone. Latvia's Human Rights and Public Affairs Commission approves ban of St. George's ribbon, a hallmark of World War II victory celebrations. We talked about that. Let's see. American politicians voting for new sanctions and don't understand reality of Russia but dislike country due to prejudice, says the Kremlin. Lebanon at risk of complete blackout by the end of September, Beirut's electricity company warns. This is not normal. Jen Psaki blasted for suggesting UK PM blindsided White House by taking questions from the media. Blow darted into them. Outrage as FDA employee caught saying African Americans should be vaccinated against their will. I mean, this is insane. Masturbation in the stands and trainers punching fans. Violent France is the shame of Europe. I'm telling you, the world is on fire. It is. It is. And all you can do is get prepared to avoid it. That's the biggest thing. Be prepared to avoid it. To avoid being in it. Let all of that take care of itself. Kind of not so natural selection, but you get what I'm saying. Let all that take care of itself and let the dust settle. And then you come out of your hidey hole. I'm telling you. Just take care of you and yours. Just take care of you and yours. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to be a savior. Just try to take care of you and yours. Let's see. East European leaders urge EU nations to increase birth rate to prevent extinction of Europe, saying immigration is not the answer. One charger to rule them all. EU announces plan to impose universal phone cable in blow to Apple. That is a blow to Apple. They've been able to hang on to their proprietary cable for all this time. You know, there have been several companies throughout history that, for whatever reason, seem to be the only company that can get around, particular things. Like Cessna, I think, is the only company that can have like a different font on their aircraft for like the N number, the tail number, I'm pretty sure Cessna is the only one that can use a different font. They've got their font that they can use. That's it. Everybody else has to use a standard font for their tail number. And it makes sense, completely makes sense to me. But then how come Cessna gets to get around that? You know, and I have asked the same about Apple. How come Apple gets to get around this this standardization of plugs? You know? Anyway, and I know the answer, obviously. The answer is money, but nonetheless, too bad for Apple. Marjorie Taylor Greene ridiculed for bringing Scooby-Doo meme to U.S. Congress. And it's sad that we have gotten to this point. France's naval group vows to bill Australia after unprecedented brutality of canceled $40 billion submarine deal. Ukraine passes sweeping new anti-oligarch law. Critics say restrictions will be used to target Zelensky's political opponents. Serious progress is being made between Tehran and Riyadh over Gulf security, says Iranian Foreign Ministry. Sulfur dioxide cloud from Spain's Canary Islands volcano eruption to sweep over France with hints of acid rain. Medics march in France to demand higher wages and better recognition from the government. Pod of over 50 pilot whales reportedly slaughtered in Faroe Islands days after unprecedented massacre. A U.S. envoy to Haiti resigns over inhumane deportations and catastrophic political meddling. Let's see. U.S. says its Winter Olympics athletes must get COVID vaccine, but powerhouses Norway won't follow suit. DHS suspends horseback patrols on border after misleading whipping of migrants photo goes viral. New York Health Commissioner under Cuomo responsible for notorious COVID nursing home order resigns. Pardon me. French doctor arrested for throwing objects at bailiff who came to summons him over prescribing hydrochloroquine for COVID-19. U.S.-Turkey relations not healthy and failed to start well with Biden, Erdogan says. 9 reported shot at supermarket in Collierville, Tennessee. Apparently, and there's one person, one victim dead, and then the shooter apparently is dead from a self-inflicted wound. However you want to tally that up, there's a total of 2 dead, but only one of them are victims of the shooter. The other one is the shooter himself who victimized himself. I don't know. It's so odd how they play games. They need to just pick a way that they factor it. I personally don't think they should consider the shooter in with the victims, but whatever. Potato, right? Anyway, apparently it was either an employee or a former employee. It's being investigated as workplace violence. So we'll see. I'm sure more details will emerge within the next day or two on that. U.S. House passes bill allocating $1 billion to replenish Israel's Iron Dome system after its battering during recent Gaza conflict. Biden's approval rating plummets as voters view Trump more favorably amid Afghan withdrawal fallout, polls show. I have a feeling, I don't know that we could possibly make it to another election, but if we do, Trump's probably got a fair chance. Let's see. AOC breaks down crying after withdrawing no vote on funding Israeli missile defense at last minute. So why did you withdraw your vote? Catalan independence leader Carles Puigdemont arrested in Italy on international warrant issued by Spain, says the media. Swiss police used rubber bullets, tear gas, and water cannons to disperse burned protests against COVID passports. CDC panel recommends allowing third COVID-19 vaccine shots for seniors, vulnerable adults, setting the stage for U.S. boosters to begin. French foreign minister says it will take time and U.S. action to restore trust. The State Department makes no mention of it. Hunter Biden sought $2 million annual retainer from donors to help get Obama-Biden administration to unfreeze Libyan assets, says the media. Nice, huh? Pentagon names alleged ISIS-K facilitator killed in Afghanistan drone strike after admitting Kabul killed 10 civilians. I guess they're trying to cover it up. I guess, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, those are the headlines. Today there wasn't as many headlines as there had been the entire week, which I guess is a good thing. But I have a feeling that tomorrow's going to be another doozy. So keep an eye out for that. I'll remind everybody that I put out all the headlines on Twitter. That's what I read them from Twitter. And I'll get up, and I usually, during my second cup of coffee or shortly after in the morning, I shoot out all the headlines from overnight, and then throughout the day I keep them updated. So just because we're off on Friday and Saturday evenings doesn't mean you can't log on, or at least sign on, or not sign in, whatever. You don't have to sign in or anything like that. You can just go to and go to Twitter. You don't have to be logged in or nothing, and be able to keep up on things. I think things are going to get very interesting very quickly. So I think, at best, I think today was just maybe a bit of a reprieve. Just a little bit of a reprieve. But I think it's going to get back busy and hectic tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. I am ready to have a weekend. I want to do some flying too. So I've been spending a bunch of time dealing with that. I've actually gotten, hang on. All of these aircraft repainted and posted. So 6 aircraft I have posted over at flightsim.to. So all camo paints. Here's the Urban Snow Camo T45 Goshawk, and the ACU Camo T45 Goshawk. And here's a bare metal camo for the MB339. And then this is the ACU. I hadn't showed you guys that one, I don't think. Or maybe I did show you that one. There was one I don't think I showed you. Maybe it might have been this one I didn't show you. The snow camo. The urban snow camo for the MB339. Anyway. Yep. And I'm sure I'll probably get a couple of more of those done. So, and somebody asked me if I would go back through on the other model for the MB339 and apply these same textures to those as well. It's a different aircraft. This aircraft has tanks under the wings, and the MB339A has wingtip tanks. So he asked if I could do up that model as well. So I'm gonna try to get those done up and put out as well, so that way they've got an option. So, and I don't get anything for this. I'm just doing it because I enjoy flight sim, and you know, I enjoy doing this stuff. So, called passion, you know. Anyway, I love I love that plane, the MB339. That thing is just such a dream to fly. Anyway, I am out of here. I hope everybody has a great weekend. God willing, we'll see you on Sunday night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.